I've seen no evidence of a special relationship. You're just going to have to show me any evidence that it exists.
I think the special relationship does exist. In some cases, I think it's been an abusive relationship.
I don't think we want a special relationship with the Trump administration. I also don't think it's that important necessarily for trade.
There goes that relationship.
I think the relationship is strong given the history of the relationship, and I think it'll be strong going forward.
The special relationship undoubtedly does exist and has a profound impact on shaping global politics. This one Atlantic alliance between two countries and bookended by two wars, the Second World War and the Iraq War, has shaped international law and global governance for over half a century.
We're allies and we do have a special relationship, and I feel it. I talk to everybody. I talk to cab drivers, I talk to people working on the street, I've talked to all of them pretty much.
So I lived for 2 years in Washington DC and hunting for any evidence of it and could find none, and asked people who were supposed to be in charge of relations between Britain and the United States what this special relationship was, and they didn't know about it. I think we should just not be so sentimental about it.
Our low point, I think, is pretty self-evident. It was Tony Blair being, I guess, what we would call the lapdog of President George W. Bush.
What we saw is a British Prime Minister completely forfeit his own legitimacy in terms of representing the views of his electorate by going along with a political vision that was being set by the United States.
We therefore here in Britain stand shoulder to shoulder with our American friends in this hour of tragedy.
The United States completely trampled on our interests in Ireland and gave a visa to Gerry Adams. That, in my view, led to our surrender to the IRA a few years later, very much under American pressure. If that's a special relationship, it's a especially bad relationship.
The most effective relationship between a president and a prime minister was undoubtedly Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher.
I'm not sure that any US president or any prime minister has ever had a particularly good relationship.
Because they really did set about remaking the global economy in their own vision.
The Reagan-Thatcher relationship is perhaps the best example of two leaders who will get along, who will have this special relationship in their hearts, but who will put their own people and the interests of their own nations first, always.
I think Barack Obama's intervention in the British-European referendum was an act of grave political folly.
Because our focus is in negotiating with a big bloc, the European Union, to get a trade agreement done. And UK is going to be in the back of the queue.
That is a line that has come straight from 10 Downing Street and been read by Barack Obama.
I was surprised. I've always thought that I don't agree with him on many things, that Obama was an intelligent person. I was surprised that he allowed himself to do something so crass.
I think he actually handed us the referendum. He handed Brexit the referendum by doing that.
I thought Brexit, I think it'll go down, that it will end up being a fantastic thing for the United Kingdom.
What this Donald Trump presidency has brought, not just to the special relationship, but actually to the American relationship with the entirety of Europe, is the idea that you can be a sovereign, independent nation state, that there can be European nations out there that can look after their own defense budgets and look after their own sovereignty.
Oh, well, from a sentimental perspective, Trump has Scottish ancestry.
Right, I like it. It's great music.
His mother is from Scotland and loved the royal family. And I think that instilled in him his love for the Queen and respect for the UK.
Watch this.
I'm not sure that Donald Trump really has a relationship with Theresa May. Foreign leaders are to him incidents in his day who he has to cope with.
Certainly, they probably would not be the two people that you'd pick out to become the best of friends, but they are working in challenging times and they have different priorities for their countries.
We are going to have a policy, America first.
I think the phrase
America first
is an absolutely phenomenal phrase. It doesn't say America only. You see the way President Trump is running his foreign policy, the deals he's doing in North Korea, the deals he's doing in the Middle East.
Donald Trump is an erratic person. I don't think he has any particular guiding ideology or even a set of beliefs apart from his own personal success and standing.
All of these things run contrary to the idea that America First is an isolationist policy, and I think we should have the same thing in the United Kingdom too.
Trump has great value and respect for the UK, as demonstrated by one of his first actions of restoring the bust of Winston Churchill to the Oval Office, which was removed by Obama. He also invited Theresa May to be the first foreign leader to visit the White House, and putting the UK at the top of the list for a post-Brexit trade deal.
I mean, the saddest thing about the Trump presidency is that it hasn't actually weakened the special relationship between governments at all.
As the president himself has said, I think we have already struck up a good relationship.
So we've been treated to the sad spectacle of our Prime Minister Theresa May capering after Donald Trump in indefensible policy matters and even holding his hand. I think that unfortunately that special relationship is intact at the expense of people on both sides of the Atlantic.
I'm really not sure why the British government feels the need to suck up to Donald Trump. It just looks to me as if we're just abasing ourselves before a more important power. I doubt we'll get anything out of it. I think we shouldn't do this sort of thing either to Donald Trump or to Saudi Arabia or to lots of other countries we do it to.